everybody, I'm Ben Clark from Queen City Clay, and when I ask students, especially advanced students, what they would like to see in a video, one of the most common requests is a trapped air form. So we're going to go with a slightly more difficult trapped air form in the shape of a donut. All right, so I'm going to center this clay lower and wider than I would for a cylinder. And then I'm going to hypnotize you.
Queen City Clay.
Sorry about that. Get that out of there. I am going to open this all the way up to the bat in the middle. So all the way through. And when I pull back, I'm going to keep my fingers curled. So I've got this wrapped around, fingernails dragging on the bat, and I'm using this thumb to apply pressure downward, as well as this under part of my hand, so that I don't develop a ledge right here as I open up. I'm just going to open up a little bit. And then I'm going to take this karate chop motion and press down on the top of the clay to flatten this section out a little bit more. Now, my second opening is actually going to be a finger here in the middle of the ring, and I'm going to start pressing down there. Now, I want to make sure that I'm leaving more clay here than I am here, and that's because this is going to do more moving when I start the pull of my wall than this side does. So I'll drive down with my finger slowly. You notice I'm always doing something to steady what's applying pressure. And I'm going to stop early because I want that floor to be decently thick. And I'll stop that for you and check with the needle tool so you can see here. So you see I'm above ½ an inch thick down there. And it's because when I'm done with this shape, I'm going to flip it over and trim it on the other side. And I want flexibility when I'm trimming so I can make a nice round shape. Once I get that opening done, I'm going to pull the exterior wall. So I'm going to take my inside hand and bring clay out toward my outside hand, and then carry the squeeze up the wall, easing off my pressure at the top and compressing. And my finger is going to be angled, pointed toward the center of the bat here, because this is going to be my attachment point with my inside wall when I curl it over. I've got one more pull to get the thickness out of this wall, and I'm going to use an undercut with my outside hand here to kind of create that outside curve. So I cut in under the floor a little bit and pull up, shaping a slight curve in there as I go, and again compress at that angle, 45-degree angle toward the center of the pot. I'm going to clean this water off the inside circle so it's not eating away at the bottom of my pot. And I'm also going to clean the water out of the inside trough here. And then I'm going to go to work on this interior wall. So this interior wall needs to come up and curl all the way over to connect to this top wall. So I'll undercut on the inside and squeeze with my index finger and thumb. Gets a little tricky because that outside wall is one you don't want to bump and widen on accident. Easing off my pressure to make sure this connection point and this connection point are about the same thickness. Add a little bit of water again, and you notice I'm just adding to where I'm pulling. I'm not squeezing water in there like I normally would with a pull. Back down to the bottom, undercutting, good squeeze. Pull that weight out of the floor, and then bring my head out to the outside edge so that I can curl this wall. So now I'm getting ready for my connection. And I'm going to bevel that edge so that this angle and this angle, when I push this down, will meet up nicely. And before I do that, I'm going to want to score those surfaces. So I've got my cutlery, and I'm just going to rip this surface up with a fork, and this surface. And with the water, the throwing, you already have a little slip layer there. So now I'm going to take my inside hand and I'm just going to put pressure with my upper palm down and out toward that outside wall. And with my metal rib, I'm gonna push in toward the connection point. Pretty soon the two will touch and I just hold at that seam. Let them wiggle back and forth like that. That's actually scrubbing the two scored edges together and gives you a better attachment. Once I have that done, I can take my rib and I can curl it around over that seam from the outside in. And then I want to do the same thing from the inside out. And I'll do this 5 or 6 times in order to get a good connection point there and get rid of that seam altogether. Using the thumb and my forefingers on the back side of the rib, so I bend it around my thumb. It gives me a really good curl there. Now our trapped air form is a soft leather hard, and there are so many alterations you can do with this. If you're gonna do very mild alterations, you could wait till this is fully leather hard and it's a much easier trimming portion. But with this one, if I'm gonna tap it and get a new base for it, possibly add spouts and handles, I might want it a little bit softer to adjust the body shape. So I'm going to wire this guy off now. And I'm gonna flip it over and stick it right back to that pad of clay. Just do a quick test to see how close to center I am, and we're not in bad shape here. I'm gonna shift it a little bit. And we'll call that good enough for now. And because I'm doing this at a soft leather hard, I'm going to want to grab the peel that I'm getting from the trimming tool and pull it away from the pot, because these tend to want to stick right back to the clay surface, and that's just a headache. So I'm trying to complete the nice round shape from the other side of the donut. So I'm pulling this clay away and trying to follow the curve of the wall. And once I get those edges taken care of, I can go back to my metal rib and smooth this edge as well. So now I have a donut that is completed. With a form like this, you can cut a hole and put a spout on the top. You can spout it this way for a pitcher or a teapot with a handle in the back, or you can cut it and use the arches for different sections. There are thousands of variations on the donut. When you get ready to alter this, take a needle tool when it's leather hard and pierce it somewhere where it might be slightly hidden. That takes it away from acting like a balloon, and it acts more predictable, like a leather hard pot at that point. And then you're ready to go ahead and alter the base, or however you're going to seat it, and go to work with the rest of your form. This trapped air donut is a great base shape for making creative and fun wheel thrown forms. So try your hand at this and have a great time.